April 12th, 2014. Pleasant Grove, Utah. The call came in at 3:17 p.m. A man's voice, shaky, barely coherent. There's a baby in a cooler, dead. Officer Derek Thompson was the first to arrive. The garage was a graveyard of forgotten things. Old furniture, stacked boxes, a broken-down treadmill. And then he saw it. A blue and white Coleman cooler, the kind people took to picnics. But this was no picnic. The man who found it, Huntsman's ex-husband, Darren West, stood frozen, his face ashen. "I was just cleaning out her shit," he muttered. "I thought it was full of old meat or something." Thompson's gloved hands trembled as he unlatched the cooler. The stench hit him first. Not the sharp rot of spoiled food, but something heavier, older, chemical, mothballs, and beneath it, the unmistakable scent of death. Inside, wrapped tightly in a black trash bag, was a tiny form, flesh mottled gray, limbs curled in eternal stillness, an infant. Then Thompson's radio crackled. "We've got another one, in a box." The unfolding horror. Within an hour, the garage became a war zone of forensic teams. Cadaver dogs whined, their noses leading them to more horrors. Victim 1, the cooler baby, wrapped in plastic. Victim 2, a shoebox, duct-taped shut. Inside, a tiny skeleton swaddled in a blood-stained towel. Victim 3, a duffel bag, shoved behind paint cans. The infant inside had been there the longest. Nearly 2 decades. Detective Sarah Mendez, a 20-year veteran, felt her stomach turn. "This wasn't just hiding bodies," she whispered. "This was collecting them." The woman in the shadows. Megan Huntsman, 39, was already in custody by nightfall, picked up at a friend's house where she'd been since her eviction. She didn't resist, didn't cry. Her mugshot showed a hollow-eyed woman, her stringy blonde hair framing a face that gave nothing away. "Did you kill these babies, Megan?" the detective asked. Huntsman's answer was a whisper. "Some of them." The first twist. As police combed her past, they uncovered a disturbing timeline. 1996, her first known pregnancy, a live birth, a living child. 1999, a second child, also alive. 2000 to 2006, 7 more pregnancies, 7 tiny corpses. But the most chilling detail? She had kept some of the bodies for years, moving them from house to house, like macabre keepsakes. End part 1 on a bone-deep dread. As detectives dug deeper, they realized the garage was just the beginning. Somewhere, buried in Huntsman's past, there had to be more. And the worst part? She wasn't done talking. Huntsman didn't need much prompting. Once alone with Detective Mendez, she started talking, softly, methodically, like she was recounting a grocery list. "The first one was a mistake," she said. "I didn't mean to get pregnant. I was high. I panicked." She described giving birth alone in a bathtub, the baby slipping into the water. She claimed she thought it was stillborn. "But the others?" Mendez pressed. Huntsman's voice dropped to a whisper. "I made sure." The method. Her confession unfolded like a nightmare. Victim 1, 2000, strangled with a towel. Victim 2, 2002, smothered with a pillow. Victim 3, 2004, left in a plastic bag to suffocate. She described wrapping their bodies, storing them in basements, garages. "I couldn't let anyone know," she murmured. The living children. Then came the twist that made Mendez's skin crawl. Huntsman had 3 living daughters. Why keep some and not others? Huntsman shrugged. "The ones I kept, they were easier." A psychologist later theorized, Huntsman saw the murdered infants as inconveniences. The living children? They were manageable, but detectives weren't satisfied. 7 babies, Megan. You expect us to believe no one noticed? Huntsman's lips curled, almost a smile. Darren was always too high to care. As the interrogation ended, Mendez realized Huntsman wasn't just a killer. She was a predator, and predators always have more victims. Police expanded their search to every home Huntsman had ever lived in. One, a dilapidated rental in Orem, hadn't been touched in years. Neighbors remembered Huntsman living there in the late 90s. She was quiet, one said, but sometimes we heard crying, just for a second. Then it'd stop. The floorboard baby forensic teams pried up the bedroom floor and found another infant wrapped in 1998 newspapers. This one was different. This one had been there for 16 years. The husband's secrets. Darren West, Huntsman's ex, was arrested on drug charges, but detectives suspected worse. You lived with her, Mendez snarled. You never noticed she was pregnant? Never heard a baby cry? West's response? I thought she was just getting fat. But a search of his phone revealed deleted texts, messages to Huntsman in 2006. Did you take care of it? The chilling theory. Investigators now believed Huntsman killed at least 7 infants. West may have known or helped hide the bodies. There could be more victims, buried in places no one had checked yet. Huntsman took a deal. Life in prison, no parole, no death penalty. At her sentencing, she showed no remorse, no tears, just a hollow stare. The unanswered questions. Were there more victims? Huntsman refused to say. Did West know? He died of an overdose before trial. How did no one see? Because Huntsman was that good at hiding. The legacy of Horror 7 tiny graves now stand in a Utah cemetery. No names, just numbers. And somewhere, in the dark corners of Huntsman's mind, the truth still lurks. Final line. The cooler was just the first clue. The real horror wasn't in what they found. It was in what they never will.